Tuesday. Girl, oh, stop it. Stop it. Let's soften this up. Maybe, girl, we need a filter. No, that ain't it. That ain't it. Oh, that ain't it. That's not it. Stop it. I'm gonna find a color that works. Turns out none of these colors work. That's as good as it's gonna look. Whatever. Whatever. Just do this with your hair. Maybe that'll change something. It's not. Whatever. This is my face. This is my face. Whatever. Good evening, Heather. How are you? Let me lower this a bit. Okay. Okay. All right, girl. Okay. Okay. Is anybody exhausted and it's Tuesday? Let's just let's just start tonight with some deep breaths. Let's just do it. No, hold on. No. Exhausted. Uh-huh. Oh, I want to tell you all about the castle. I'm gonna watch it tonight. How'd it go? I have so much to tell you about castles. Girl, if it's Tuesday and you need to put your feet up, grab a drink and hear about castles, you are in the right place. It's been a long week. It's Tuesday. All right. So, now tell us about the castle. A change in weather. What's up with our names? I don't know. Somebody said it changed today. I see Maria DeBona. How are you? I don't know. I never pay. I think I'm used to reading both your ads and your names. So I don't know. Or maybe I'm just confused. This princess wants to stay in a castle. It's so pretty. With or without a moat. Technically no moat, but it does have a bridge that a moat could be installed. No, there's no moat. It's definitely what I need. Getting scissors thrown at me and getting hit in my first grade class has me going crazy. Girl, stop. Girl, you should work at a castle. Just go work at a castle. You don't have these kind of problems if you work at a castle. So did you get the job? I don't know. I don't know. We're in talks, but I really like them. They're lovely people. Okay, I think I convinced my husband to turn our current home into an Airbnb. I think that's Airbnb that you wrote. You wrote ABAB, but I'm gonna convert it to Airbnb. Yeah, Amy, those are our twinkle lights. So those twinkle lights come on around now, and they'll stay on until around 11. And I like to try to be asleep before they're out. I actually use them as a gauge to how tired I'll be tomorrow. If those are still on when I go to bed, I'm like, you have a chance at having a nice day tomorrow. If those are out, I'm like, tomorrow's gonna be a shit show. And then they go on at 5:30 in the morning. And so, and it's still dark. But that's how I know, girl, it's time to get up. I do need to sleep more. I mean, it's obvious. Look at my face. Girl, you're not wrong. Hey, Jen, good to see you. Anywho, so let me fill you in. When do you find out if you have the job? So there's a lot to consider when thinking about having a castle. That is not a sentence I ever thought I would say, but honestly, anything that has to do with a castle, I'm in. Just castle, what? Like if a guy has an Irish accent, what? Castle, what? Man with an Irish accent in a castle, what? I'm in. Is the internet wonky? Like internet, like wise? Anyway. Castles, oh yeah, you're hilarious. I love a good up dog joke. When you, yeah, what did Jason say when you're like, I want a castle? Jason already knows I love castles. Like if I could do a European castle tour, that would be the ultimate. So I did survive my castle trip. Yeah, Joe, I'm here for the castle info, here for the update. Jeremy, you would love it. So I don't want to say too much because we're still trying to figure it out. There's no official, because it's a lot. It's a lot to think about, but it is a beautiful, beautiful property, and it is indeed a castle. And this couple that own it have spent a lot of money and time, and it is done so well. Like every single detail is on point. It has a French Norway vibe to it. I don't even know what that means, but girl, beautiful. It came, the house came with a Steinway piano, and I didn't tell him until the end that I played. He goes, "Why didn't you play the piano?" I said, I'll come back. I'll bring my music. I want to be prepared. If you're going to play a Steinway, you can't just go in cold. Play a Steinway. How old is it? I think he said it was built in the 1930s, so almost 100 years. So, no. It's so pretty. So, but there's a lot. So if you missed the morning show, it's not 20 rooms. It's actually narrow and tall. It's 5 stories and has a turret. Girl, it's got turret steps. If you don't know what turret is, look it up. You can't be part of a castle conversation if you don't know what a turret is. It's the part of the castle that's around. Girl. I don't want to say too much yet, Susie. We still working it out. But the basic gist is that I have spent the better part of so I've been doing stand-up for 23 years, and probably for 30 years, if not longer, I have been buying crappy houses and renovating them. And then I would say probably 6 years ago when we bought the Shore House, and it was a pandemic, the next year I had realized that I needed to learn how to Airbnb the house because I wasn't working because of the pandemic. And so I learned how to Airbnb short-term rentals there. I have a long-term rental at my house. We're trying to get a mid-term rental here. And it is a lot of work, Debbie. And so this house is beautiful and is currently being used for like bridal suites. Like you can go and get your bridal pictures there. We are still battling zoning, yeah. And so it does that. It does a lot of photography shoots for clothes. There was a movie shot there, so it's more of kind of in that vein. And so I would be managing that. And I was actually trying to talk them out of Airbnb right away. I think that they should focus on, it's about 2,600 square feet. So it's not small, but it is it's lovely. If I can figure out how to do it and then show you all, the history of the place is fantastic. The stonework, fantastic. But it's funny because it is, it's funny because, sometimes when, you're doing things and you have to like learn how to do them. Why were you trying to talk him out of it? Anne-Marie, the house is so beautiful. And right now he's doing like 1-day rentals. And it would be like if somebody came in to do pictures there. Yes, they do host weddings there, small venued musings, small party weddings can be hosted there as well. the wear and tear on a house from a one-day event, when someone is in attendance, like I would be there, or maybe Chris would be there, or Wendy would be there, somebody from our team would be like there, not necessarily hosting it, but just be present on property when there's a wedding there. So there'd be somebody always there on like a day event. But when you start Airbnb a property, you would set it up real different. You would make sure that if there's things in here that you would be upset if it got broken, it should not be in that house. And so I think it's just real different when somebody goes into an Airbnb situation, because you're definitely taking on a lot more risk. A lot of things could go wrong. And this house is perfect. And my thing is that I would love to see, if there was somebody managing this property full time and marketing it and doing all of the things and setting it up and all the things, what kind of income it could produce. And then, if there's time in between and we're like, hey, we have some of these dates. No, I didn't take any pictures. I was thinking about it today, Cal, and I was like, would you mind if I take, okay, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to be that girl. So it was beautiful. And I hope to tell you more about it as we kind of get into it, and maybe we will. I already have a million ideas. Did anyone's name change on Jesus Chef from what your name was with Mrs. Interior? My usual name is Mrs. Lay, but it changed over here. So weird. That's interesting. Yeah. Shakendra, I feel like you could tell just by the content of the comment. So we'll see. But it's super unique, and I think it's one of those properties where if you're like, even if you're, just wanted to get away for a night, and whether it's by yourself and just, that would be pretty fancy. But like, if you wanted to go with your boyfriend, they did say they just started getting a lot of engagements there. So like, if a fellow was like, oh, let's go stay a night at the castle, and there's a piano there, there's a harp there, so I want to like line up some piano players, some harpists. So if somebody said we would love to have, somebody come in. Oh, Eileen, girl, I was thinking about you so much. I got to get you over there. You would love it. But I was thinking I want to find, some chefs that I could have, that if somebody said we want this catered, that we would have certain chefs that we would work with. And, if you came and you were like, I would like to have hors d'oeuvres, those would be in the fridge. We want to order flowers with it. Girl, I have a violinist I could get. So pretty. It was just kind of funny. Like, I was like, this is very much up my alley. I love older homes. I love castles. I know. I got to stay one night at Heidelberg, Germany because of you. It was so much fun. Melanie, it does seem like a full-time job, but I already talked to my team about it. And so it would very much, it's all the stuff that we're already good at. We're already good at party planning. We're already, in contracts and all of that. It just sounds really magnificent. And, I had shown him some of the pictures that I had taken of the carriage house. I said, we've been renovating this carriage house, which I know I haven't shared with you yet, but I will one day. And so when I showed him, he said, I love that you kept it in the style of the original structure. I'm like, I would be devastated. And that's the fight that we're having, is like, we renovated it back to its original style and character, and they just want us to drywall the whole carriage house, and that's the fight. So I think that was important for him, that I was like, no, I love every single thing that you've done. And they have a nice history on that house, on the castle as well. I know, LaFive, I'm thinking this will be the little spark that I needed, to get inspired so I can share stuff about the castle, share stuff that I've learned. But I think that Airbnb, especially for people, if you've empty nested and they're saying that more and more women, single people in the older age bracket, are choosing to stay in their homes, which are 3 or 4 bedroom homes, because there's actually not as much supply of single person housing, and it's cheaper for them to stay in these big houses. So if you are able to figure out a way to have that house make money for you, if you decided to get into the Airbnb game, it's a great option. If you thought about trying it, but there's definitely tricks. So like even throughout, as we were kind of going touring the castle, and I was like, you're gonna need some lights right here. You need to have little like picture frames in each room saying what the rules are for the room. Yeah. I think it was built, Amy, in like the 1930s. So yeah, almost 100 years old, and literally renovated so beautifully. The woodwork, the steps. Now, Jason didn't come with me. But they just seem just super lovely. And a friend of mine Airbnb'd her basement apartment, makes more money than renting it. Yep. Mm-hmm. I have a whole upstairs that I don't even use. It's just me and my fiance, but it's almost cheaper to stay here than to move. That's what I mean, Janice. So yeah, I mean, there are ways to do it. There's ways to do it safely. There's ways to learn how, to talk to people. There's messages that are definitely scams on Airbnb, and like, how do you learn them? How do you vet people? All of that. So I don't know, it's just this dumb little skill that I have learned along the way. And it's great for passive income. I mean, if you're sitting in your house, and there's a lot of people that will be like, well, I don't want to rent with other people in my house. And the nice thing is I had to learn how to be able to lock things up in my house. Yeah, we exclusively Airbnb on vacation. We are even Airbnb-ing our trip to Santorini, Greece next month. Yeah. So you're going to Santorini and you're going to Airbnb your house? Is that what you mean? Yeah, there's not a lot of Airbnb castle opportunities. So I am actually on a number of Facebook pages that are either geared to finding people who might be looking for houses, like people are requesting. There's something called Furnish Finder. But there's a lot of pages that are like, hey, I'm looking for, a 3-month rental. And there's people that go on these pages to find deals, outside of hotels, right? Or outside of Airbnb. So anyway, so this post came up and said, I'm looking for somebody to manage my castle. Now, listen, I want somebody to manage my castle. You immediately have everyone's attention. So everybody was like, I'll manage your castle. But he never said where it was located. And I was like, this is probably either somewhere fancy or in the middle of nowhere. But I saw people were like, where is it? Where is it? Where is it located? Right? And kept scrolling to see what he answered. And then he answered and he said the town, which is like 2 towns over from me. And I was like, what are the chances that this place is this close? And so it was just, yeah. I have a stall in my barn. Well, then it was so funny. Did you know that you can rent your driveway? You can rent your pool. You can rent your driveway. Like if somebody has like an RV and they're not allowed to park it in their driveway, but your township allows people, or your driveway is deep enough that your RV can be in the back. I'm telling you, I'm talking about passive income. There are a ton of opportunities. And yes, of course, there's risk with all of it. You should make sure you have the insurance to do it. Yeah, people rent driveways all over Brooklyn. crazy. People around here rent their driveways. Yeah. Crazy. I'm just saying, in a time, and again, where gray divorce, which is divorce over 50, or becoming a widow or otherwise, you get into a certain bracket and you're looking for a little bit of passive income, start thinking about, ways that you can take the assets that you have and monetize them. Yeah. I know, Sasha. I mean, you got to monetize what you have. Yeah. And she likes it. Yeah. A lot of people asking who's renting their driveway. It's so crazy. My friends have 2 boats in their driveway that do not belong to them. That is so crazy. All right. So I thought tonight we could do castle trivia. Oh, what? Okay, let's see some castle trivia. All right. You can rent a castle for family gatherings, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of rules for my castle, by the way. My husband and I would rent a driveway. You mean you would rent your driveway or you would rent somebody else's, Norma? Like, what would you do? What are you putting in their driveway? All right, here we go. First question. There are still over blank castle sites today in England alone. How many castles do you think there are today in England alone? Somebody said 1,000. Someone else's camper. Sorry, it's hard to do. There's not sure we have 300, 900, 3,000, 2,250, 10,000. That's a lot of castles. So the answer is 1,500 just in England alone. So here are 11 facts that you might not know about castles. Wow. Okay, here we go. The oldest standing castle is located where? In what country? It was built in 19. It was built in 950 AD. What country is the oldest castle? Somebody said China, Rome, Ireland, Scotland, Malta, Scotland, France. Jarrett, you got it. It is the Chateau de Fontenay. Look it up. I think I said it right. And so, where do you think is the oldest inhabited castle in England? So the oldest standing castle, not inhabited, was built in 950 AD. That's the bourbon talking. But where do you think the oldest inhabited castle is? It is Windsor Castle. Built by William I, and it's over 900 years old. Girl, can you imagine? All right, Jason, we're doing castle trivia. Yeah. Sometimes you can see a reflection in that window. Okay. Okay. The average time that it would take to build a castle is what? The average time it would take to build let's say you wanted to build a castle in your yard. What is the average time it would take? Jared says 3 years. Penny says 5. Jody says 3. Depends. 10 years, 5 years, 3 to 6, 10, 6, 14, 12, 300. You know, there's that one, the Familia in Barcelona. That one took a bunch of years. But it said the average time, come on, get it together. The answer's 10 years. Guys, if you started now and you started digging that moat, it's a moat. I added an L. I think this bourbon is kicked in. I mean, you can add a moat, but you should add a moat. Start digging your moat now. And by 2035, you could have a castle. The township is going to screw you in permits. Yeah, it's all the coding is not going to go well. So he said, you're single, I can tell. I am. I just have secret rendezvous and castles. I've decided I'm not even going to fight. What everybody is, yeah, it's exactly. Okay, here we go. This is a money question. Are you ready? And it's in pounds. Hold on, let me convert. Let me convert. Hold on. Pounds to dollars. Give me a second. English, hold on, this is my thinking face. They don't have, all right, I'll just do it the other way. Pound, okay, 100 is $133. Okay, hold on. Okay, here's the question. Oh, I just told you the answer. It's the bourbon. I'll tell you the question. Here's the question. I already gave you the answer. It is tipsy trivia. In the 10th century, the average cost for building a castle was 100 pounds. It's because they were built of timber. Oh, girl. Who building a castle out of timber? I can tell you something. None of those are around. By the 14th century, when they started using stone, somebody like, this is dumb. Guess what the price went to? It's 100 pounds. Now, when they moved to stone, guess how much? Did I tell you that answer too? Joyce, watch out. I told him. He thinks he's funny. I don't know if you know, but he'll do that. He'll just come down the steps and he'll have an interesting outfit or non-outfit on. And he'll dance on the other side. He thinks he's funny. 100 bazillion pounds. All right, some of the answers are 100, 140, 150, 600, 5,000, 3,000 pounds. Pinky in the mouth, $1 million. Nope, 100,000. Girl, how you gonna build a stone castle with $3,000? Come on. Get it together. It's the 14th century. Cheap asses. Think you're going to build a castle with $3,000? Okay, you go ahead. You build yours over there. I'm going to build mine for 100. Dena, where'd you get 100? Girl, I don't. I got a boyfriend. Come on, get it together. Come stumbling over. I'm going to build a castle for 3,000. Okay, yeah, good luck. Let me know how that goes. Yeah. 100,000 easy. Now you're talking, Jessica. Which is pounds. It's really $133. 1,000, 100,000, whatever. You know what I mean. Add the zeros. All right. Ooh. All right. I'm glad we're doing castle trivia tonight. Are you ready? Okay. Don't Google it. Are you ready? Uh-huh. We're going to go off of Shikendra's quote. Does it include a dungeon or no? Funny, you should ask. What does the word dungeon mean in French? What does the word dungeon mean in French? Do you want to take a guess? What do you think dungeon means in French?
Holding.
Basement,
Holding
basement.
pen.
Holding pen, nope. Basement, cave, nope. Basement, Alexa doesn't know. See you trying to.
Type of crab.
Type of crab? Oh, Dungeness. No, it in French, it comes from the French word. And Alice, why'd I call you Alice? Like I ever called everybody, like, who's Alice? LaFive can correct me. French word is donjon. I made that up. Means fortified tower. Breezeway. Girl, nobody says breezeway anymore. Nobody. You just brought me back. It means fortified tower. It was originally built as a central keep and last refuge for castle inhabitants that were under attack. Often dark and gloomy, the keeps were considered an ideal prison and so became dungeons. Mm-hmm. Girl, gonna learn a lot about castles. Mm-hmm. You look energetic for your age. I am 81. Mm-hmm. Girl, I love a good breezeway. Girl, who don't love a breezeway? I think there's 4 people that know what a breezeway is. My house, when I was growing up, had a breezeway. And it was a house, and then there was a garage, and then there was this thing, and there was a breezeway. You look good. I know, I'm 81. And the breeze would come through. It would move all this stuff. We'd always have a whole bunch of leaves in there. What constitutes a castle? If it looks like you can't afford it. Uh-huh. Breezeway. Yeah, and don't forget spaghettification. We learned that last night. Okay, and if you think that's not a word, you are wrong. Mm-hmm. You're 99. Let's blow their minds. All right, here we go. That was fact number 4. That can't be right. What? Okay. What is a vestibule? A vestibule is like a before the room. I don't know. Mm-hmm. All right, here. You're never gonna get this. If you get this, I'll be like, okay. Nobody's gonna get it. Are you ready? Are you up for it? Here we go. Thank you, Carlos. One of the most interesting castle finds includes the first blank discovered in Dudley Castle in 1885. Dating from the early 1600s. Now listen, I don't think you should use them if they're from the 1600s. Okay, let me read it again. One of the most interesting castle finds includes the first blank discovered in Dudley Castle in 1885. So let's see. Key, toilet, dead body, chalice, toilet, mummy, toilet, Judge Judy, chastity belt, toilet, flush toilet, dumbwaiter, bathroom, sword, skeleton, chastity belt, cage, bottles of wine. No. Handcuffs, cat dung. Mm-hmm. Moat, bathroom, bidet, torture chamber, chastity belt. Mm-mm. Closet, laundry chute. It would be something used in a bedroom. Tub, phone, shackles, closet. No. I can give you one more clue, but Toy, bed, chamber pot. No. Catacombs, bed. No. Here's your last clue. Dating from the early 1600s, they are made from fish and animal intestines. I'm going to read it again. Condom. Allie got it. Let me read it again. One of the most interesting castle finds includes the first condoms discovered in Dudley Castle in 1885. How are you going to find it? Who found this? And how you found it now? Who touched it? Who picked it up? What? Dating from the early 1600s, they were made of animal and fish intestines. Did you say that, Paul? I missed it. How did I know? That's what I'm saying. I'm sure somebody came in and swept a couple times. Swept? Girl, I don't know. How creative. Kezia. They are really intuitive. That's not a word. I think that was ingenious and intuitive all at the same time. It's a new word. What the hell? I don't know. Listen, it's Tuesday. Keep it in mind. All right. What? Hold on. I gotta Google something. Okay, this is a lot. Yeah, I'm doing research. Hold on. Yeah. What's your face saying? Okay, I'm trying to understand all the words. Hold on. Let me look at one more thing. I just want to make sure I understand. So I'm doing. All right, I'm going to read you this part first because you're not going to understand it, okay? It talks about how some castles are built in the Motte and Bailey style. Motte and Bailey's castles. It's a style of castle. Or an early medieval fortification featuring a defensive tower or keep, a raised earth mound, which is a motte, along with a fortified courtyard, which is a bailey, enclosed by a ditch and a palisade. Relatively cheap and quick to build. This is what we would have had. Making them ideal for controlling newly conquered territories. They were eventually superseded by more advanced. Okay, all right, so let's go back now that we know what that is. Okay, here we go. Are you ready? You're just saying a lot of words. Here we go. Medieval castles are generally built in the Motte and Bailey style. Okay, so there's a fortification of some kind, blah, blah, blah. And medieval castle toilets were no more than a wooden bench with a hole. Babe, did you know that medieval castle toilets were no more than a wooden bench with a hole? It said excrement ran straight into the what? Into the blank. What do you think the answer is?
Sink.
Baby, why are they going to have a sink if they don't have a toilet?
Straight in the hallway?
Okay, all right. Let's give it a minute. Let's see it. Medieval castles are built in the Motte and Bailey style.
The moat.
No, it's called Motte, M-O-T-T-E. I know how you spell moat. Medieval toilets no more than a wooden bench with a hole. And excrement ran into the... Yes, a lot of you are getting it right. Do you want to guess?
Sewer.
There's no sewer. Baby, it's medieval times. It's medieval.
The little pail that you would carry out. Well, what?
Babe, we pretend we have a castle. What would we obviously have? Because we're very bougie.
Basement. The dungeon.
Some of them said that they ran into the ground.
The dungeon.
No, but we would also probably have this because I would want it. Although now that I know what's in it, I wouldn't want it. The answer is moat.
I said moat.
Girl. I was so
I said
excited.
moat.
Did you? I was so excited to have a moat because in my mind, my moat would be like one of those raging rivers that they have and you just lay in them on your thing and you just float around. That's what I thought my moat was. Now that I know that a turd's going to float by, I think I'm going to pass on the moat. Yeah. I think Jason's been drinking. Mm-hmm. Wow. You guys aren't going to get this. I'll just read it to you. One very famous castle. Maybe you'll know it. One very famous castle. If you can tell me the name of the castle or where it's located, I will be impressed. It was one of the outdoor settings for Hogwarts in the Harry Potter films and also was in 2 Christmas specials of Downton Abbey. I thought my moat would be like a lazy river. Now that I'm reading all about this, I don't think I'd want a moat. Yeah, if you could be more specific. Alnwick. That's it. You probably Googled that. It's in Northumberland. It's not only one of England's finest castles, but it's also a famous filming location. Girl. Girl. Wow. It says, up until the Middle Ages, the great halls were used to not only entertain and eat, but also as sleeping quarters for the household. The first castles were dark, cold, smelly, and damp. Inside the castle wall, floor coverings consisted of straw, rushes, and later sweet-smelling herbs to mask the smell of animal excrement, grease, rotting food, and beer. Okay. All right, here's it. True or false? Yes or no? Hold on, I have to. This isn't a real quiz. I'm trying to turn it into a quiz. Yes or no? Count Dracula's castle. Does it really exist? Yes or no? Count Dracula's castle. Does it really exist? Yes or no? Yes, no, yes, yes. Yes, 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 no. Yes, no, yes, 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 no. Yes, on Sesame Street in Transylvania. Yes, 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 no. Yes, it does exist. The answer, no. Bran Castle in Transylvania was the inspiration for Irish author Bram Stoker. He never actually visited the castle, but based on his fictional version on images and descriptions of the place. So Bran Castle was the inspiration, but Count Dracula's castle. Vlad the Impaler, who is based on, does. Okay. So it's a yes or no. Today it is possible to rent a real castle. Girl, I know. Borthwick Castle in Midlothian is the genuine Scottish castle, originally built in 1430 by Sir William de Borthwick. It's one of the finest and best preserved 15th century castles in Scotland. But don't worry about sleeping on the floor or having to use a garderobe. So what I was reading about is something called a garderobe. That was in the thing about the poop. This Garderobe. That's what I looked up. Let me leave you with this word. Hold on. Garderobes in castles. In castles, a garderobe is a small closet-like room that served as a toilet with a chute that dropped waste directly into a cesspit, a moat, or the ground below. The early toilets were an important part of castle hygiene, keeping waste away from living quarters, and were sometimes strategically placed to make moats a more effective defense. They use poop as a defense? Girl! I mean, think about it. Think about it. You'd be like, I will throw poop at you. If you try to come in my castle, I will throw poop at you. The name garderobe is originally meant wardrobe, as the ammonia fumes from the waste were believed to kill pests in clothing, which people sometimes stored in the room. Yeah, it would work. Listen, if you were coming in and I was like, I will throw poop at you, I bet it would keep a lot of people away. I would hope so. Yeah. Yeah. Other than Andy Dufresne, that is a Shawshank reference if I ever heard of it. No. Before modern toilet people used materials like moss, soft leaves, or wool. Listen, I'm just gonna say it right now. Like, I don't know what the future looks like. I'm sure it's lovely. I'm sure there's flying people in the sky, and there's a whole world in the sky, and then another one in the ground. I don't know. And I'm sure that future generations are going to look back and be like, guys, people use something called toilet paper. Like, I don't know what they'll do. I'm just saying that I could not have lived in a time pre-sanitary napkins and tampons. I would not have fared well. I was not going to sit in mud for a week. That's what I've heard. And I'm just saying. Right, everyone will have a bidet. Hand washing was not popular. They didn't have no sinks. I'm just saying, God put me at the right time. I don't even know what those belts are. Did you ever talk to old people? They're like, we had the belt, the sanitary belt. I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear nothing about no belt. I don't want to hear when people are like, oh, are you going to use regular diapers or are you going to use washable diapers? Stop it. I don't have a moat. What are you talking about? I'm not going outside and cleaning these diapers in my moat. I did. I talked about my castle interview. I'm not saying a lot because we're still negotiating, but I hope so. Yeah. They have washable diapers, but unless you have a moat, I don't know where you're washing them. It's too much. Yeah, don't know, don't want to know. Belts with hooks and teeth. I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't even want to know. Going down by the river. Oh, man, is that time? Yeah. These cloth diapers of my 2 years. I can't, Malene. I can't. I don't need that in my life. My life is hard enough. I don't want to see it. Can't do it. So, I had a diaper service for my first son. I don't even know what that is. I don't want to. Insert Transylvania. I can't. No. A belt, a sanitary belt with hooks and teeth. I never heard about any teeth before. We had to go down, wash down at the river in Mexico when I was little. Alejandro, stop it. I can't. You can never tell anybody that again. Do you know how old you sound? You sound 110. I can't. I mean, Jim, this clock stopped. But I think it's, I'm going to check the battery. It's 5 o'clock all the time. Somebody said the other day, they're like, how come I don't hear your clock chiming? And I was like, I think it's the battery. I got to check it. The teeth clamped down onto the end of the napkin. See, I can't. I don't even know what you're saying. But I wouldn't make it. Yeah, but Jason probably took the batteries out. He was like, I can't take it. 5 o'clock somewhere. It's always, it's ironic that it's stopped on happy hour. Yeah. Wow. So anyway, so funny. Anyway, y'all. So now you know a little bit of castle humor. And we'll see what happens. Girl, I'm tired. Oh, I'll fall right to sleep. Used to talk about the belts. She said she hated them. Yeah. No, Tracy, stop it. No, Tracy. Anyway. All right. So listen, tomorrow I am going to be getting on a plane to head to Boulder. So I think I'm going to miss you because I think I'm going to be in the sky. I am Sarah J. I've decided to give up my nightlife to just talk to people. I thought that men would be more interested in just hearing what I was thinking. I had a lot of guys come to me and be like, you know what? I'm really just interested in you intellectually. And I said, I got it. So then I started doing a talk show. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, listen. Yeah. Allie, they keep telling me that's who I look like. So I Googled that person and I was like, oh. And then Jason said, well, do you look like her? I said, well, let me see. Let me pull up a picture of her. Do not pull up a picture. It'll tell you this might not be a good idea. And then I said, I don't think that we're going to see a picture of her face. And so we didn't move forward, but I kind of saw like a profile picture. So no morning show tomorrow. So anyway, yeah, my Google history is a lot, for sure. All right, everybody. So tomorrow we have the day off. We have the day off. Someone told my husband he looked like Captain Kangaroo. I'll take Renee Russo. Sure. You just name pretty people. Sure. I'm her. Whatever you say. Okay. All right. Well, listen, everybody. Thanks for being here. And I'm so confused. Kezzy, you don't want to know. Thanks for watching, everybody. And I will be back Thursday morning. It will be an ungodly time because I will be in Boulder. So it'll be 2 hours early. It'll be 6:30 my time. But I'm doing it. Pretty sure it'll be dark outside somewhere when we're doing it. But it'll be fun. So whatever. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great night and a blessed night. And I will catch up with you on Thursday.